Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Today we'll explore how cities around the world are navigating the complex landscape of digital transformation and innovation. Our panelists represent a diverse group of cities and perspectives with unique challenges and opportunities from the compact yet highly connected Reykjavik to the sprawling and dynamic Bogotá. By understanding their strategies and experiences, we can uncover valuable insights into how digital innovation can drive equitable and effective public service delivery. To begin, why don't we have our panelists introduce ourselves?
Thank you, Hashim. I'm Arna. I come from the city of Reykjavik in Iceland, and I am the head of service and transformation for the city, and I also lead the Iteam of the city.
Hi, Hashim. Hi, everyone. I'm Santiago Amador from Bogotá. I am the director of the Public Innovation Lab. We call it EVO, or IBO.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mai-Ling Garcia, and I'm the digital practice director at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg Center for Public Innovation.
Thank you. All right, Mai-Ling, we'll start with you. Many cities across the world share the common goal of digital transformation and innovation, but their unique characteristics, such as population size and geography, can significantly influence their approach. How do these differences shape a city's strategy for digital service delivery?
Thanks, Hashim. I think that there are obviously cities like Oakland that you're in that have a population of under 500,000, and other cities like the ones on stage that have millions and millions of people, Mexico City, Bogotá, Singapore. And I think what that means for a lot of these cities and a lot of your cities in the audience is that the impact is going to look different. Impact may look like big numbers and large user bases, or we might be taking more equitable, proportional approaches and looking at specific audiences and places of impact. So I think it drastically shifts the impact, one, and two, it also changes and shifts the approach depending on where a city might be on their journey to digital transformation.
Thank you. Arna?
Yes. Well, Mai-Ling mentioned big cities. I'm not from a big city. Reykjavik has around 120,000 residents. So our approach to this journey of digital transformation or service transformation looks a bit different from what you might hear from Santiago. Our journey started as a very small team in a very insignificant office within the city, but we have grown over the last years into a department that works across the entire city. We are responsible for cultivating the mindset of innovation and driving the human-centered design processes and everything. And we also are responsible for the budget and the prioritization of projects. So we work across the entire city with every department, with every service owner, and to create the unanimous and synchronized experience for the citizens of Reykjavik.
Thank you.
Okay. On the other hand, Bogotá is huge. With around 9-10 million people living there. So for the government, it's very hard to solve every single problem in every single corner of the city every single day. So we decided to collaborate with people, and we decided to collaborate with companies. We are working under this concept of collaborative government, in which we invite GovTechs, and when I say GovTechs, I mean EdTechs, HealthTechs, FinTechs, AgTechs, and so on, to collaborate with the government more as an ecosystem and solve problems by themselves, or maybe through B2G models. And the other characteristic of Bogotá is we are bureaucratic and highly regulated. And that's why we have been developing some solutions. For instance, the design task force. We allocate some money outside the city budget, maybe coming from international cooperation, and we manage to hire more flexible people for the innovation process. For instance, if you need a front-end developer just for 3 days, in the normal government, it takes like 3 months to hire someone for 3 days. But with the design task force, we can hire it so fast and then change to the next profile that we need.
No, that's great. That's amazing. and talk about some contrast between your two cities, right? Okay, so based on your respective experiences, what practical steps can cities take to create a more equitable and effective digital age? And if you could share a specific example to help us walk through the steps, that would be great.
Yeah, what a great question. I think this is a question that we are all dealing with, no matter of the size or impact that we're having. For me, I would want to highlight two things. We have been talking a lot about, over the last 2 days, human-centered design, and I'm a firm believer, as I think all you are, in that approach. But to ensure the equitability of it, we have to make sure that we are very rigorous in our research and how we are conducting our research. We have to make sure that we are reaching out to our user groups in a manner that suits them. And I can give you an example of a project that we have been working on regarding multilingual children and their families. Diversity is growing in Iceland and in Reykjavik. So we are focusing on how we can better support children and their families from diverse backgrounds. And we have been working with children through art, and we have been gathering their insights through art processes, so in an environment that they trust, in a manner that they know and know how to express themselves. So that is something that I would want to highlight, because when you are solving a problem, you have to make sure that you get a 360-degree view of the user. And that's how you end up creating a solution that is not only a digital process, but it's also a redesign of a process, redesign of information, because we've been talking a lot about digital and AI, but what we are doing is not only digital. Digital is only an enabler towards better service. And another thing I would like to highlight is prioritization, because we want to tackle everything, but we cannot do everything at once. And what we do in Reykjavik is that we prioritize our work through a prioritization matrix, where we look at different dimensions of each project. There are like regular dimensions like return on investment or optimization and standard things like that. But we have also dimensions that reflect equality and equity and human rights, and those dimensions reflect the city's policies on those issues. So each project is prioritized through this matrix with these dimensions in, so that way we ensure that we are focusing on the most vital problem at every single time.
Thank you. Thank you. Santiago?
I think in Bogotá, the first step is to recognize digital divides. Statistics says that in Bogotá, 80% of the population are using the internet. But if you go deeper, you can see a lot of inequalities within this call number. For instance, 50% of the population of Bogotá, they're using internet, but they're using just WhatsApp in prepaid plans. It's not the same to use the open web. So that's why we have to adapt to these new channels in which people are actually using the internet. And the second one is the so-called Matthew effect, and how social divides affects the use of the internet. For instance, if you want to make a proper prompt to the AI, you need a good primary school. And unfortunately, we don't have this like here. So we have to recognize this. So one example is we created this chatbot, this Chatico. I know that chatbots for cities are not new, but we developed this natural language in which actually the chatbot can interact fluidly with citizens.
Very nice. Very nice. Mai-Ling, you support a breadth of cities, and I'm sure you have some wonderful reflections to share with us as well.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've been reflecting on is that we've had, our light posts in cities in the US have been electrified since the 1800s. We've had Hey Siri out there for years. So when Governor Newsom says something like he did yesterday about us needing to moderate appropriately, apply moderate governance and policy to something like AI, for example, I think that we need to approach that in a couple of different ways. One of those is like in the Netherlands, they are looking at principles and not just a single policy, an AI policy, a social media policy, a website policy that many of us are very familiar with, but a set of principles that really governs all of those things in the form of digital human rights. The second thing that we really need to think about is not just bring technologists into public service, but how can we bring experienced public servants to technology companies who are essentially making huge decisions with great social impact.
Excellent. Excellent. Switching gears just a bit. Why is government leadership crucial in digital transformation and innovation efforts? And can these initiatives succeed without the involvement of elected officials? Why or why not?
In my opinion, it is a very good thing to have elected officials and mayors on board on this journey. We were fortunate enough to have a mayor that and we still have a mayor, but a different one, but they both understand the importance of this journey. So when the mayor or the elected officials put this on the agenda, you get a leverage. You get a leverage that helps you with the conversations within the city, within the municipality, and all the different departments. Because as we all know, this work is not just about going through some steps. It's about cultural change and how we're changing the way we're working and the mindset of how we're delivering services. And we cannot force this change down somebody's throat, but it's very helpful to have this, support from the elected officials. In 2016, there was the first service policy set forth in Reykjavik, and that service policy talked about that we would deliver and design every service of the city for and with the user. It was just simple as that, and through digital platforms. And by having this policy and having this statement has helped us a lot. But it's also very important to foster the grassroots, to work with the people who are delivering the services, to bring them the opportunity to develop and give them the tools of this methodology, use human-centered design in their work, and fostering the mindset of innovation, because it has to be top-down, bottom-up, inside-out, outside-in, because if we want our world to be, and our way of working to be sustainable, we have to focus on every single aspect of it.
Okay, I appreciate you covering just about every combination of directions that it needs to work. Santiago?
I think leadership is crucial here, but not the typical leadership. It's not about the boss saying giving you the solution right away, you have to deliver tomorrow. But instead, conduct I will say, adaptive leadership process. Because digital transformation is more about changing the culture, changing the procedures, changing the back office, and it takes a lot of leadership. For instance, in Bogotá, we depend directly from the mayor. He is the one who gives us the priorities in which we are going to work. And then we deliver through entrepreneurship cells. We have an innovation cell in every single public agency in the city, but that depends exactly from the vision and inspiration from the mayor.
That is excellent. Mai-Ling, do you have a quick thought you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think that mine might be a bit more pragmatic, but it reminds me of a lot of conversations that I have with folks like these and other cities, which is really thinking through where you are, so who, not just if there's government leadership, but who those government leaders are when you work with elected officials, or if you're a smaller strike team, like when I worked here in the city of Oakland or San Francisco, maybe those are actually operational department heads or people that actually have jurisdiction over the specific issues that you have. And later, when you become more cemented and centralized, it becomes much more important to solicit, I think, the support of elected officials who can help you with priorities and with budgets and other things to steward your maturation along.
Thank you, and that's our time. Please give a big round of applause for our panelists, Arna, Santiago, Mai-Ling.